Yo. All right, we are live. Okay. I think I have most things set up. Gonna get some music. Toss us in Discord, and then we'll get started. Probably in about 5 minutes. Boom, boom, boom. What's up, Isaac? What's up, Cheddar? How you guys doing? It's a good thumbnail, isn't it? It's actually an old review I did. What's up, Kelly? All right. Let me pop this out. Pop out chat. Live chat, just like that. And then I will share my screen soon. We'll go ahead and get started. We'll probably start with portfolio reviews. I'll probably stack them. Maybe 2 or 3. And then maybe like, I don't know, 4 resume reviews, something like that. I don't know. I'm not feeling the greatest today, so we'll get as far as we can. But Synthwave will always cheer me up. Where are you? And submissions are closed. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. Yeah. Oh my god. That's loud. Okay. That should be good. All right, let's go. Toss it in Discord. How many portfolios? I don't know. Not a lot. I like total between all of them. Let's see. I think there are. Let's tell you. There was like a freelance one. I'm not gonna review that. But we have 4 portfolios. Wow, that's loud. Let me turn it down here. So 4 portfolios. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 resumes. It's pretty good. All right. Discord. Announcements. Live. Live on YouTube. Doing some portfolio and resume reviews. I think I'm actually going to use Canva quickly to just I don't know. Like people check that they hit all their information, but all these resumes have like phone numbers and stuff. I think some people are just like unfamiliar with the internet. So I'm thinking about just like putting a black square over some of this. Yeah, there are lots. I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of them today. If I don't, we'll do it maybe like afternoon Wednesday next week. We'll finish them off. Maybe. Something like that. Getting old. I am getting old, Isaac. Old and wise. Okay. Yeah, let's start with the portfolios. Scanned all of them before. Got all the PDFs. Let's see, virus scanner. What am I forgetting? I'm missing something before I start this. I don't know what I'm missing though. All right, let's go ahead and start with the first one, I guess. I'll share my screen. Bring this over. What the fuck? Okay. Glad I didn't share that. What else do I need to hide? Okay, let's go ahead and share. Get started. Boom, boom, boom. So before we get started, as you all know, if you've watched previous ones, I'm super critical. This isn't like a cozy review. I try to be as critical as I can and try to give you as much feedback as I can. So don't take it personally. That's pretty much it. I got and it's going to be a heavily UX focused for the portfolio reviews, and really focused on, like, you know, what's an employer going to think about this. Got quite a few interview offers using Harvard's template, but ultimately got hired through referral. Shows you the power. Yeah, networking's super powerful. All right, cool. So, Ruben Ramirez. Okay, pretty simple. Gotcha. So this is one page. Do these open up? Nope, these should be new tabs. These should open up into new tabs. Anytime you are linking to something external from your main site, it should be opened up in a new tab. You never take the user away from the flow of this. Hi there, I'm a Ruben Ramirez, a self-motivated front-end developer. It's in Upland, California. I have a passion for learning new things, solving problems, and bringing joy. That's cool. 2 others through code using JavaScript React, the long version. Oh, I like that. I really like that. You hit a lot. That's perfect. Got right to the point. Technologies I've worked with. Cool projects. I mean, your projects are probably going to be more relevant. Like I don't know. It's a pretty small website, so no, submissions are closed. Good, yeah, I like his mustache. It's pretty good. Is that super zoomed in? Oh, I mean, it's a low resolution. My Mac is pretty zoomed in, yeah. Projects. Random champion picker, so live demo. Okay. Live demo, champion search. Gotcha. Okay. Super, very, very basic projects. You know, chances are you're just gonna have to dive a little bit heavier into more project work. And yeah, I mean, these are just like super, I would say that's great. Build the stuff that you want to build. But I always say, like, solve real problems. Build an app that's going to be relatable to businesses. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be stuffy, but like thinking about any app that'll actually gain a user base. I think I think it's fine to start with gaming type projects. I think, like I said, I think part of why I got my job was because me and my old boss were able to relate with video games, with Twitch. I think that's fine, but you're going to have to expand into solving real problems that companies are going to care about, right? So, you know, really simple. 0 out of 10 plays League. Oh, no. I don't think I have to zoom out. Why would I? Needs to be hired. You like League? Okay. Damn. Starting a war, Kelly. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's just really, really simple. These aren't clickable. I don't know why they animate. There's no reason to animate these. It's just like a very bare bones portfolio. So now you just continue building heavier and heavier projects. Do you have anything else that you're interested in outside of video games that you want to work on? You want to build tools for? I would start thinking about that. You mentioned your front-end software developer. I don't know, very personable. I like the picture here. Let's go ahead and check out mobile. Okay, that's probably some bugs you gotta fix. All right. What I like to do, especially on mobile, let's go ahead and do all. Let's do a hard refresh. Look at all the assets that are going to be loaded. Wow, 4 seconds. Okay, it's a long load time. Let me try that again. Okay, a little bit faster. Size. All right, what are your biggest files? React Dev Tools. Backend. Why is this being loaded? React DevTools? Why is that being loaded in production? Is that... No, that... Okay, so I have to be able to... I need to distinguish between, like, extensions being loaded. I don't think React DevTools... I feel like I've missed stuff like this, but I feel like this is something that should be extracted out. This isn't due to any extensions I've installed, because I was making that mistake before. Install hook. Okay. What about your images? You have one. Man, that's I don't think this picture... Did you... So, always run your pictures through TinyPNG or JPG. I don't... I think you can get that size way down. I don't know if you compressed it at all. If you did, ignore me. That seems big. I think it's because... I gotcha. That was for the Nintendo Switch. I see what you guys are saying. My bad. Fit to screen. Yep. Oh, I've coded like that. Can't compress the stash. Impossible. Okay. I don't know. Quick. I like that. About projects. Okay. Projects. Sure. I mean, like I said, it's fine. This probably should be a mail-to link. I don't think it is, right? I don't really want to load my mail client, so yeah. So even just like knowledge of that, you know, employers or anyone in front end is going to be like, why isn't this on a mail-to link? How accessible is this website? But yeah, I like at this point, it's just too simple to say much else. You just got to work on more projects, more relevant projects, and just expand from there. It's a good start. All right, that's it. Any other advice for Ruben? Some people submitted their resume and their portfolio. It was either or, by the way. So whatever you selected, if you selected resume, if you selected portfolio, whichever you selected, we're gonna do. All right, cool. Moving on. So he is trying to get his first job. Same for Daniel. All right. My name is Daniel. Welcome to my portfolio. Check out my projects or contact me here. Gotcha. That's why I got my projects. Contact me here. Quick animation. You can press play to destroy this text. It's kind of cool. Oh, nice. That's actually really cool. What do you use to build this? Whoop. All right. About skills, project, contact. Full stack web developer and Bloom Institute of Technology graduate. I have a serious passion for creating awesome looking websites with amazing functionality. Let's make something great. Yikes. Okay, what the hell is this? This doesn't... What is this? It's taking up way too much space. This is irrelevant. I would just simplify it. If you want to list your skills, fine. But your projects are going to showcase... They should. What you've been working with. But I mean, like, you're probably doing a lot of cold applications, so your resume is going to list your skills. I just think this section is literally a waste of space. React, Django. Okay, learn more. What happens when I click that? Go ahead. Oh, interesting. So, I think you have some positioning issues. Yeah, so if the browser Yeah, you have some you have some CSS issues here, but like it gets pushed, right? That's broken. Shouldn't be hovering over here. So actually, I'll just keep it here. Up to date info and testing. What you can do, typically you want to lock. So if you open up a modal like this, you want to lock it so you can't scroll like this. It's kind of cool to figure out how to do that, but that's what you should do. Up to date info and testing confirmed. Cases does GitHub. Does this go to okay? Opens up in a new tab. Good. We should be able to see a live thing of this. There's no live link. What about this one? Add skill icons and project images. Oh, to the last one. I think, yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't think that bare bones, like white and black minimalist layout works for catching attention of people. Like it doesn't really show anything interesting, what they should be clicking on. Yeah, I think images would help with the last portfolio. What else with this? React, Redux. Kali again. Okay, do you have maybe you have a live link here? No? Okay. A little unorthodox to have your X down here instead of the top right. What happens if click outside of this? Closes. Yeah, no. Okay, view site. Why do you have projects where you can't? They're not live. I'd be curious about that. Procedurally generated city with friends. That's kind of cool. In 1 week, contributed to the front end visualization, animations. That's really cool. What is this? Just filler. Contact. I'm assuming this works. You have some CSS issues here. Overlapping text. I'm assuming all of these are gonna be open up in a new tab, like your other links. You okay. Yeah, you have some CSS issues. Did you mention full stack web developer? Okay, I have serious passion. Let's make something great. So you're using call to actions properly. I think it's a pretty entertaining portfolio. I think this section is just a waste of space. It delivers way less value than the rest of this. Yeah. It's a good looking portfolio. Yeah, it is pretty good looking. He did say design inspired from. Fine, Matthew. Oh, that should open up in a new tab. That's broken. That's not broken, but again, new tab for all of your links that are going to go to external resources. Plug. Oh, do you just like flat out? Okay. I don't. I think design inspiration. It almost kind of feels a bit like a copy. I don't know how people are going to feel about that. I think you're using the term inspiration loosely. I guess that is a little bit different. Anyways, yeah, let's check out mobile. I actually appreciate the honesty. I do appreciate that. No, got a fuzz. I don't know if I would take that out. But yeah, it looks really similar. You might just work a little bit to... I don't know. I'm on the fence with that. Anyways, let's go ahead. Like usual, we'll actually do it on desktop. Cleared. Should have cleared. Just want to make sure. Okay, size. Don't have a lot of big assets. Yeah, nope. Wait. Again, React DevTools backend. What the hell? Is this, What'd you build this portfolio with? What's this being included with? Your profile picture, yeah, this doesn't need to be this big of a file. Compress this. Hook. Yeah, probably same framework. A couple different fonts. A lot of people like Railway. PNGs are the file size isn't bad. I have a feeling you haven't condensed any of these images. Again, just go to like Tiny PNG and toss them in there. If you have, feel free to ignore me, but I feel like you can get a lot of these file sizes a lot smaller. All right, let's go ahead and refresh. What's up, JJ? How you doing? Yeah, it's hard to tell if he should include that. Looks better than anything I have. Man, is this just oh, Railway? Why? Why is it? Whoa, that is way too small on mobile. What? No, that's horrible. Increases font size at least bare minimum 16. I would even argue like you should be considering 18 or 20 for mobile. So I play. So on mobile. Okay, so I can drag it, but I can't see it. Okay. I feel like this play area probably needs to shrink on mobile. If you increase the text, it will. The text size. Yeah, this is where kind of like I have a feeling to get this to work. Probably gonna have to put definitely some effort in to still make it work on mobile and increase the font size. Like I'm not really gonna dig into your code, but this kind of just makes it seem like you don't really focus on mobile users. Skills, projects. Okay, pretty clean otherwise. Yeah, so no overlap here. See, this looks good on mobile and not on desktop. But you got to go through and work on some of the CSS stuff. Other than that, it's pretty good. I think you've built some interesting projects. I think you've made your portfolio really interesting and not in a way that like distracts or I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really distract the employer too much. And you make it very easy with call to actions to be able to go to the sections they want to go to. And you've identified wording that action wording of what the employer is trying to achieve on this portfolio that'll link to it. So you have knowledge of, or you seem to have knowledge of like choosing the right words to get users to act. That's useful. UX knowledge like that is very useful. So you've focused on the content because a lot of people just toss on a blob of text, a little about, and they don't really think about this kind of stuff. I think that's a good sign of a developer that cares about the user. A lot of games. Tally. Yeah, you've built some full stack applications. Tap for info. How's this load up on mobile? Okay. I mean, yeah, it's fine. You darkened it out. Might even consider darkening it a little bit more. It's hard. It kind of blends in. You extended it 100% width. That could be fine, but I would darken the top and bottom a little bit more. Yeah. What do you guys think? Under skills, they should put nunchuck skills and tetherball skills. Why is that? Do you think this person has nunchuck skills? Let's take a look. Maybe actually. You look like you like anime, and if you like anime, there's a chance that you have nunchuck skills. So maybe. You still need to build one? Oh, a portfolio? Well, that's why it looks better, because you have nothing. What do you mean? Probably use some media queries or some viewport units on the scaling for font between mobile and desktop. Yeah, could be an easy fix. What's up, Amin? How you doing? What's up, Sage? All right, going to the next one. Okay. And we will look at resumes after this. Boom. Code by Pete. So this portfolio and the next portfolio, they already have jobs as a developer. They're looking for their next one, or they had jobs. I don't know. Okay. So does this open in a new tab? Good. Code by Pete. Man, that contrast sucks. Oh. Did you put like I think you tried to improve it by putting like a shadow or an outline on the text, but yikes. Good. Like the picture. Damn, that's blurry. Why am I? Okay, let's do. I want to try to be generous here. Let's do desktop. Boom. All right. Yeah, it's just. What? Can you? Why? I mean, if I could do something with it, it'd be so you have like a cursor, like I could shoot it. This looks like a crosshair, right? That'd be cool if I could shoot it and the letter disappears or something. But I don't know. Oh man, that makes it look so horrible. No, get rid of this. No. Focus. So you can go. There are color picker sites that'll. You can take a background and you can take a font color of the text on top of the background, and you can get a grading of the contrast. Probably gonna get a pretty poor grading with this. I don't think you should lean on an outline to be able to give you good contrast initially. It can help make something pop, but I think you're actually using this for, I don't know. About blog projects. Okay, professional. My name is Pete. Welcome to my portfolio. Wow, that is so uninteresting. Right. So, yeah, I don't know. I probably should ask the country you're from, but like, you got to realize a lot of my advice is United States. There are different cultures that are going to appreciate more professionalism. There are different cultures that are going to appreciate more casualness. I don't know. This feels and reeks of just stuffy and professional, and like there's nothing personable about you. Like I don't know. I want to know more about you, Pete. I don't know anything about you, so why even put this section? So talk more about you, like 1 to 2 sentences. You want bachelor's degree, responsive design, production level code. Okay. Again, I'm not usually a fan of animation for the sake of animation when there's no actionable thing to do here. Let's get it, Pete. That's right. I just finished my final project for my course last night. That was fun. Nice. This person should have tried Lighthouse scores. Yep. Be very helpful. How do we get a portfolio review? You can't request it anymore. This is kind of just a bonus, a milestone, because we got 65 YouTube members. We might do something in the future. We could do another milestone. I think Google DevTools is a thing to check for meeting criteria for contrast. I would imagine Lighthouse tools will do that. I don't know if it'll do it specifically to like an element. I don't know. It might. Collaboration skills. Okay. Wow. Okay. Published articles during my tenure. Forbes me. I was privileged to publish articles on. Okay. That's impressive. I would say that's more impressive than experienced quality engineer with 20 years of pharmaceutical experience. Publish article. Okay. So let me click on this. That's pretty cool. This is probably something you can highlight. That's impressive. I think that deserves its own section, honestly. And you can highlight some of those blog posts, but I mean, it's just like when I see like So bachelor's degree, in what? In a professional certificate? This all could be put on a resume. You know what I mean? Like if these portfolios were attracting people, like this blog was super active. Maybe it is, and you're bringing in a lot of people. That's well, I need to ask more questions, honestly, because it's a different strategy. Okay. Each perspective. Faster training. Why does everything have to like float in? At a certain point it just gets annoying. No, Daniel, you had your time. We're on Pete now. Okay, let me go. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of a frustrating experience because I try to click back to go back, and I have to like, what if I'm way down here? I don't know how long your blog posts are, but I don't think this close button is just so, it's like blended in with the content. I don't think that's a smooth experience. I think I should be able to click so if I go to a blog, I should be able to click the back button and go back to the home page. That's kind of a confusing experience. I wouldn't rely on like, because like you almost like load up a brand new page, then you provide some close button that kind of like blends in with the content. You don't really create any sort of container for your content. It's like, it looks like a new page. It feels like I should be able to hit the back button, and then we arrive on Daniel's portfolio, right? I don't think that's a smooth experience. What's up, Mahan? How you doing? What's up, David? David, let's do questions on Friday. Oh, yeah, well, I guess here's a simple question. Is it okay to use a template? Just build your own. What do you mean, like a design? If you want to buy a design, that's fine, but I think you should build your own. I think it's good practice. I think it's good experience. The employer is not going to have context of whether you copied this or not, right? And it's easy to ring those alarm bells because they have to deal with a lot of people lying about what they know. And so the problem is, my advice used to be like, portfolios are relevant, just, WordPress site, toss it up, right? But the problem is there are so many content creators now and coding bootcamps encouraging dishonest behavior and getting their students to lie just to try to bump up their numbers just a little bit, right? Because a few are going to get in. Most will get caught. A few will make it past. I can tell you, hiring managers are just like the distrust for junior developers and them being capable of what they say they're capable of. It's growing. That distrust is growing. So I feel like hiring managers are constantly having to deal with just misrepresentation of what they can do. And that's enough. Like just seeing something that even looks like a template, I don't know. It's like if they've recognized that design before, it's probably going to ring some alarm bells. So I think it's worth your time to build this out at this point. I think it's good practice. I think it helps you focus on UX. It helps you focus on content, things that you will get better at as a professional developer, especially on the front end. So my advice is to build it out. You don't need to be a designer. But like if it's a common template, it's just a risk you take. Yeah, let's save like questions. We're kind of just focused on the portfolio and resume stuff for now. Let's save, if you have like general questions, stuff like that, bring them on Friday. I think like 12:30 p.m. Central Time on Friday, we'll go ahead and do a live Q&A. The blog opens, the blog opens in the same URL. That's why this flow is kind of confusing. I don't really like the washed appearance of the I don't either. Like this just feels impersonal. Again, I don't know. It just does. I feel like this could be much friendlier. I would like to know more about you, Pete. A little bit of a higher quality image. I don't think it needs to be a professional suit. Like you're becoming a developer. So he comes from the pharmaceutical industry, which maybe that's like perfect, right? Developer industry, like they just want to meet like real people. They want to get the raw experience of who you are, and they want to vibe with you. Like that's the main thing. If you can vibe with that interview, it's so huge. Which is why it's like, this is why I encourage people to get sleep and just have fun with it. And if you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail, right? But like you can learn something, and you can collaborate with that interviewer, and you can like, it could be a good experience. Yeah, but yeah, we're not gonna beat a dead horse on that one. But like, it's taken me forever to get to your portfolio. Geez, this is super long. Bachelor's degree in biological sciences, professional recommendations. Thank you. Are there any projects? What? Okay. Where am I now on your website? Okay, so you do have some projects. You have a demo. Okay, it's loading in a new link. Cool. Man, you really love those animations. Blog. README. Scrolltainer. README. Okay. Why does that make me feel like there's going to be just a README and no code? I don't know why I interpret it like that, but okay. I would just say like GitHub source code or something like that. And then it's already expected that you're going to have a README filled out. Stanley Cooling Corp, expert HVAC. What does it look like? This handcrafted React app developed with reusable components and custom assets. Subtle animations were added for a smooth, comfortable user experience, tuned in for web performance, accessibility, search engine. Wow, that's I don't know, that I don't think those logos are there. That's confused. I think you put the technologies on top of the image. The contrast is already horrible. This, like, it's just horrible. Does the actual mobile app look like this? Is the text unreadable? You're giving me this impression that you really struggle with contrast, and you struggle with a lot of things that are going to matter as a front-end developer. Bring these technologies out of here, because I think that's what you're doing. I would also toss the... Okay, so you have no GitHub for this. Maybe it's a freelance project or something like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The layoffs are going to pick up too. We're just getting started. Yeah, no problem, David. But I think I did answer your question, though. I already did answer your question, though. Looks unfinished, kind of. Yeah. We'll look at some of his other projects. What's a good front end? JJ, probably a good question for... well, I don't answer technical questions, but like if you have a non-technical question, we could do that on Friday. Yeah, navigation, it just feels... What happens if I click the back? Okay, so I'm back on CodePete. So that's even a weird experience. I have to like... Okay, so I can go to projects. I can click back there, but when I go to blog, and then I go to read more. Okay, so now we're getting something where we can click back. Oh, but it didn't close the blog post. I clicked back and it didn't close it. That's just broken. Oh, okay. Yeah, that should actually go back. So that's... You're trying to be way too creative with your animations, and this is where you're fucking up. This looks really bad. Let me just refresh, because I... Okay. So projects. Demo, readme. Currency exchange, bank. API to fetch the top crypto and all enter. Okay. User accounts include the latest cybersecurity features. Account creation is streamlined for a busy demo user. Okay, so if I go to demo, Why don't I have a screenshot of this? What is this? You're attaching your skills onto this image. It's just confusing. Let's keep going. Demo SEO, visit site, more projects. Where am I now? Hold on, what? In my archives. Oh my god, the animations. It's giving me a headache. Okay. Code by Pete 2.0. So these are just your portfolios? I don't think I care about this. Categories, business websites. Wait, okay, I could scroll it for a second. Code track lift. I don't know if I would link this. I would just put these projects on your portfolio if you think they're important enough. Or then look at your GitHub maybe, and you could put them in the READMEs. So you can put like highlighted projects on your GitHub profile page, and you know, you prioritize the ones that you started with on the portfolio. I don't know, does this help you or does this hurt you? I just feel like I'm lost on your website. I know this isn't your website, it's an external link, but I just like getting dizzy navigating through it. This design is too much. A simpler design with better colors would make this pop 100%. I feel like, honestly, like looking at the different types of projects, I feel like Pete really has good experience to showcase. But I don't think you're selling yourself well. I think employers are going to get frustrated with this. Okay. Robot, code by, again, poor contrast. So, friend, I even think like full stack developers, if you sell yourself as a full stack developer, I'm not going to navigate through this whole thing as on mobile. There's no way in hell I'm going to put myself through that. And that should say a lot about like driving the point home of what I'm talking about. But I think, you know, full stack developers, if you're going to have a website, if you're going to have a front facing website, I think it makes sense to focus on contrast, positioning, and just like being consistent with your font sizes, like spacing even. I think the spacing is, yeah, I think the spacing is fine. I think the contrast is just poor and the flow sucks. Okay, let's look at mobile. Actually, before I do, I definitely want to see how long this website takes to load. Okay. Okay, yeah, your content's still jumping around at like 5 seconds. Wow, that is frustrating. No. That content, like your content at 5 seconds, your content shouldn't be getting pushed all over the place. That's a horrible experience for users. For businesses, and you can look at a lot of analytics, like if they ever built an app like this or a website like this, the content is still shifting around, their users are going to leave. Most of them are going to leave. So you're essentially projecting that that's kind of like your understanding of how to build a website. You're showing that you're not really prioritizing the right things. Because like engagement on the website and conversion into the call to action that they want user to take, like a lot of this is measured in businesses that make any sort of money with a team of developers. And they're going to focus on these user metrics and the engagement with the website. I get this feeling this website just screams that you're going to lose tons of users for the app. So your portfolio can project what you potentially are going to, how you're going to impact whatever app you're going to be working on. You got to be careful with that. And that's why, you know, I said it in chat, simpler is better. Simpler is, or what do you say? Less is more. I think that's like a key takeaway from this review. You're doing way too much. Okay, let's look at the size. Go up. This is my extension. This has to be React DevTools backend. I just don't. It literally says Chrome extension. I'm so dumb. I literally brought this up. I said I wasn't going to make this mistake again, and I did it again. That is my Chrome extension. 2 previous people ignore me. Yeah. So you're streaming, just want to pop in and say what's up. Thanks for all the insight. Cheers. What's up, Kobe? UX overhaul for sure. Since I use free stuff, performance will be an issue for me. LOL. It's okay, Don. It's not okay. Okay. No, since you use free stuff, what do you mean? Performance should never be an issue. No, I don't. Do you mean with your website? I don't think so. Let me go to images. This is a GIF? This is a static image. What? Why is this a GIF? What? Wait, it actually... The contrast is better here. You just managed to somehow make the contrast poor. Okay. What? What? Why is this 2000 by 2088? And you have this like tiny little icon here. I get this feeling you really need to dive back into the fundamentals of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. I think you're really struggling with that. I think this is a good example of that. Even just fundamentals of like web development in general and the stack, and even just what are different assets and what are they used for and how do you serve them. I get this feeling you're gonna like really this just feels like you have very, very outdated knowledge, and I think you got to dive back into fundamentals. That's the gut feeling I get from this. That's true, Cheddar, exactly. Web HP, okay, you retracted that. I'm so confused looking. I am too. SVG and shapes next time. I'm not even gonna try to like map this to where this is on the website. I'm not going through that flow again. We're gonna close that. Anything else? We're gonna do a quick look on mobile. And yeah. But what is even displaying before this completely overtakes? Hold on, I want to do a refresh. Projects, and then this just pops in. What? Why is this? Okay, so this is very, very unnatural. I would even look at like just common website designs, because when you try to reinvent the wheel, that's what I was saying with the previous review, when that X for the modal was in the bottom right, that's a very unnatural place to put it because we're not used to that. I think it's a horrible idea when people try to reinvent the wheel of design patterns. Especially when you're not even a designer. I think you're being, again, this is another example of like trying to be creative in a way that it's just gonna hurt you. So to simplify it, it's pretty standard to put this in the top right. That black, again, horrible contrast. Gray is not great either. You might consider 3 white lines with a border. Yeah. This is on mobile. I mean, people are gonna fat finger this. And yeah, you need to make this a little bit larger. Have this come out more. Okay, so when I click on this, it doesn't close that. That's a horrible experience. When you click outside of that, it should close the navigation. Okay, so now your project, hold on. I want to go code by, so Okay, no, I clicked projects and I replaced the content. Okay, never mind. So we're gonna scroll through. These are spaced way too far apart for mobile. What's the font size on this? Oops, I probably could have just looked. 16. Okay. Oh wait, no, that was the contrast grade. Okay. 16. Dylan, I would save any general questions like that for our Q&A. We're doing portfolio reviews today. We do a Q&A every Friday around noon. I think I would rebuild this. Honestly, I agree with you, Kelly. I'd rebuild this for the ground up. You have a lot of content. And I think like highlighting your blog is huge. I don't think you're doing that enough, honestly. Projects and blog posts are huge. It can give employers a window into essentially what you care about, how you think, process. Yeah. Oh, thanks, JJ. I appreciate you guys when you let people know, like, yeah, he answers questions on Friday. Yeah, Macan, definitely going against standard design. Don't try to get creative with your portfolio. I'm telling you, with your websites, with your portfolio, you're not at a stage where that's going to help you. It's only going to hurt you. Don't try to get creative with it. You can have creative elements on it that aren't common on portfolios, but that are common on other apps. I think it's a cool idea to gamify your portfolio. You can do that. That's interesting. But it's still going to follow common UX practices that you're going to see on that type of component on another website. Props for putting yourself on the line like this, but for sure revamp this. I don't even know where to look. Focus on the important stuff first. I want to see portfolio, not professional. Rex, yeah, 100% agree. Again, hopefully I gave that disclaimer. I'm just super critical with these reviews, so it's nothing personal against you, Pete. But hopefully this feedback is super helpful, because I get this feeling you haven't gotten it before. I'm not good at design. I'm just a coder and a guy who likes low level. So mine may not look amazing with colors, but you could do creative things. So if you like low level, maybe you don't want to build front ends. Like you can essentially create videos, you can create blog posts about it. If you have a back end tool, you might not have a front end to it, right? So you got to look at other back end portfolios and how do they sell that kind of stuff. So, if you don't really enjoy front end, I think if you enjoy front end, you got to get a tiny bit design savvy. You got to get a tiny bit UX savvy. I think it's important, especially in the way your projects are represented. But if you're back end focused, low level, maybe not. Why did this get darker? Is this blurrier? Okay, I feel like I just keep finding new stuff, but my old feedback will affect it. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, that's it. We'll leave it there. Highlight your projects, your blog. I don't think it's out of the realm of rewriting this whole thing from the ground up and tossing a lot of these animations. I think you're doing too much with it. UX is poor. Contrast is like really poor. That's really what's hurting you. You could really build this section into something more personable. I want to get to know you, Pete. I don't care that you have a bachelor's degree. Like, your resume is probably going to speak to that. You're giving some generic responsive design BS. Like, I don't care about that. It's just like, these are generic terms that everyone puts. It just becomes irrelevant. When hiring managers see this all the time, there's nothing unique about what you do. Your website should speak to responsive design. Your projects should speak to responsive design. If you have to put responsive design, I don't know. It just seems like information that shouldn't exist. Yeah, that's it. Cool. And guys, any general questions, save them for Friday. We'll do like a live Q&A on Friday. Greg, try to be a little bit more constructive. I don't think that's fair. Yeah, that just seems mean-spirited. All right, cool. Next portfolio. All right, so Jackie T. What's up, Austin? How you doing? Okay. Jackie T, let's go. Boom. So, we have reviewed Jackie's portfolio before, and I got a hair again. Am I losing my hair? What the hell? All right, so hi, I'm Jackie. I'm a software developer. So Jackie does have professional experience, from what I understand. LinkedIn, opens in a new tab, perfect. Okay, is this supposed to like represent that you like knowing multiple languages? Work experience, software engineer, clutch. Okay, you kind of turned it into a resume. Software developer at Shopify, software developer at IBM, personal projects. I would argue, do you have a blog or anything? So this is kind of just like a cold application. I think your project should, so when people go to a portfolio, I think your project should speak to what you can do as a developer. I think that's the main focus of a portfolio. So you don't have a blog. I doubt you have a lot of traffic coming to here because you don't really have the content to attract users. So the projects are going to be way more relevant than this. That's fine if you want to put this, just bump it to the bottom. Projects are more relevant. Stock trading web app. Oh yeah, we reviewed the stock one. This is a pretty cool one. I like this. Honestly, I do. This is a cool project. We did an entire review on it. App takes time to start. Oh, it didn't. What? You sure? All right. So pathfinding visualizer, 3D WebGL FPS render, CV algorithm, demo GIF. What'd you do with this? Is this neomorphism the new way to make sites with fancy graphics for everything? I think it's just a preference. I don't think that initial image, if it doesn't represent anything, I would just, Jackie, I'd put your image there. But this is what you can do, honestly. Like, if it's a low-level thing, if it's not a web dev thing, they can just have a live link to it. You can create a GIF. This is perfect. This is what you should be doing. I would argue... Yeah, there was a recommendation, might include actual images of projects. I think that's going to be relevant. I think you should do that. I think that's a good suggestion. It's just like, it feels so... Yeah, like with agency stuff, with agency websites, very often, for the longest time, I think it's still a problem. You get these like patterns of random images that don't really represent much of anything. Like they just... I don't know, it's like to fill space, to make it look just a little bit better. But they don't really mean much, right? It doesn't give you more context that's relevant to you. Like, just put a picture of the website, but like with a lot of agency websites, it's just like templated stock images everywhere on the website. It just fills it up, and yeah, the layout looks pretty clean, the spacing looks clean, and it does spice it up a little bit, but it's very bland. It's very generic. It's sterile. I think that's a good word for it. It's very sterile. I think you can bring some life to this with an image of yourself. I think that'd be perfect. And images of your projects. Might one of those cold applying sites? Maybe what do you mean by that? Contact would be good. Contact could be good here. You could even just put it at the bottom if you want. You don't even have to make it a main pieces of content. You have the LinkedIn. Chances are Jack is probably just linking that portfolio directly on the resume. So the content or the contact is it really relevant? It's not that relevant. I don't think so. Ditch the LinkedIn pic and get a more professional picture. Ditch the LinkedIn. Actually, I'm always afraid my DMs are gonna pop. Okay, no DMs. I disagree. I think you should just smile. I don't think it's a very cheerful photo. Like you really like the color black. I don't know. There's just like, I'm not gonna do like a LinkedIn review. I would argue that you just need like a friendly picture. I don't think you need this professional looking picture. I don't think that's necessary. I'm on my LinkedIn. I literally have like a headset, like a gaming headset. I'm not even looking at the camera, and like I continue to get so many connections because like it's not the picture that's super relevant. I think like a friendly picture is super helpful. Like if you just have a picture that you look angry, it makes me think that you're just going to be an angry developer to work with. Not even angry, but just like, are you happy? Right? So I think the picture could change into a more friendlier one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's look at the network. It's pretty basic. We could actually, I want to look. Simulated stock. I would include the languages as well. So HTML. Oh, you did. Express, React, Node. Kept it really simple. That's fine. Source code, WebGL. Yeah, I think those are fine. I think your professional experience is going to speak more to getting, you know, what you can do. Is this new? Size. Wow. Okay. Cool. Even that is, yeah, it's slim. Good file size. Let me take a look at mobile real quick. GitHub work experience. Yeah. Good font size. I think this is fine. Software developer, and then live demo, source code. I can't scroll down. Might just be. Okay, Chrome thing. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's simple enough. I like it. It's a clean layout. Really minimal. You have a few projects to showcase. You have a link to the source code. You have a link to live demo. Pretty standard. But again, I think the thing is, this is going to speak to your experience, but it doesn't need to be on your portfolio or prioritize on your portfolio. So bump it down below the projects. I think this will be good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cool. All right. We'll keep going. I'll do some resume reviews. If I can get through all of them, that'd be pretty cool. The picture looks like more of a law firm bio picture. Needs something for a software developer website. Are you talking about the LinkedIn picture or this picture? Do I have to take a picture of myself? I hate the camera. Yes. Yeah. I had someone, I don't know. I had someone that like, this is a friend of mine, so I'm not bashing her, but like, she was mad because the application website allowed you to upload an optional picture. And really, like, and she started talking about like how it's discriminatory, etc. It's like, I knew the company. It was a very inclusive company. They just want to like, I want to see someone that they want to work with, like someone that's smiling. Like if it's, you know what I mean? Like, it makes a difference when you have a picture of you just like, or like you just look angry. All you literally have to do, it's this low effort, is just smile and look cheerful, look like a developer that like has fun with coding. Like people want to be around you, right? That was it. They basically just wanted to put, they wanted to, I think, what did they want? I think they wanted a picture of you to give you the option to add flavor onto your personality. And sometimes they would get like unique upload pictures of like quirky pictures that would show like unique, and it was completely optional. But I'm telling you, the more that you can expose like who you are as a person, who they're going to be working with day in and day out, they just want to be working with like friendly, humble people. That's it. It's only going to benefit you. And so many people like have this resentment of like uploading that picture and making it just a little bit friendly, and it'll make you stand out so much more. You can't shy away from that. It's so strong. If people can just like have a friendly experience with you in the interview, have a friendly image initially, what am I trying to say? It's underutilized and people don't value it enough. It's a good thing. Upload your picture, smile, that's it. You don't have to wear a suit. You don't have to look all fancy. Just like a picture of you looking into the camera, smiling is perfect, and it will go a long way. And if you can include that on your portfolio instead of some like random static image like this, that can help. But maybe this is relevant. Maybe Jackie likes exploring a bunch of different back-end languages. So yeah, but don't shy away from it. Just long story short, don't shy away from uploading your picture. I like the mobile version with the images around. Hi, I'm Jackie. Okay. Yeah, mobile was pretty good. What's up, Jaffa? Resume's gonna be lit. We shall see. I like the more generic look of the logos he used for his portfolio, but on more corporate websites. You talking about the sterility of the logos on a personal portfolio is a great point. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and that might be personal preference. But yeah, that's a good point. This is a portfolio. This is something supposed to be personable, a window into your personality, who you are as a developer, what makes you unique, and having those generic images, it's not going to help you at all. But yeah, it could be a preference. Some people prefer those. Lots of people say don't put your photo on portfolio. Why do they say that, Tommy? Comedy's asking for pictures seems unnecessary. I think it's more of it's giving you the option. If it's required, yes, it's unnecessary. But the thing is, whatever their process was, they invited people on that were all super friendly and kind. Whatever their process is, they're doing a really good job at it. But yeah, they invited people on that were like super kind, loved working with all of them. So they're doing something right. And I think it's like, I don't think that's a bad thing to put it as optional, to give you your application more flavor. Now, like if they were doing it for like, if they were actually discriminatory, like if I detected any sort of like racism, sexism, anything like that, like that's something that would scream, the alarms would go off in my head, and that would be a horrible thing. But knowing who the people were in that company, that wasn't the case at all. And like it actually just gave people a chance to post something unique, just a little extra flavor to your application, so they could attach a face to, like a person to this resume that can look very sterile and not really mean much. You know what I mean? So I think it can be a good thing used in the right way. So if I take a picture of me petting the stray cat I take care of and smiling, some people would like that. It depends on the picture, but potentially, yeah, cat lovers would. That's what it is. It's like, it's literally, I think, here's the problem. A lot of people, They want to be this generic personality, this very professional personality. They want to do everything efficiently to stand out to most employers. And that's a horrible strategy. What you should be focused on is applying to companies where their culture fits your personality. And that's going to be very clear in the interview, right? You don't want to waste time on how many times have you applied to companies, you've gone through the process, you didn't get that job, and you kind of like felt like you just wanted a job, but you felt like, maybe the team members were a little bit passive aggressive, or maybe you felt like you didn't fit into that culture. Those kind of interviews aren't worth your time, and they can like be really defeating when you just get rejected and you invested all that time into it. Where companies are going to be much more open to hiring you when it's just a good personality fit. This is why if you expose your personality more, it's easier to attract companies where you're going to be a better fit into, and then you're being more efficient with your time. It's a different type of strategy. So you don't want to be this generic, sterile personality. I would even argue sometimes you should get political. If you feel strongly about certain social issues, for or against, you're on one side or the other. If you vocalize that, you are going to push away some companies, but you can also attract certain companies where your values align with a lot of a chunk of the team of that company. That's also another strategy. You have to be very careful with that strategy, and I think most people should not even consider it. But I would argue, some people have been very vocal on social media, and they've gotten companies that are like, yes, absolutely, your values absolutely align. I am so glad you spoke up about that, right? So it's a risky strategy, but that can be a very effective strategy. Some people have internal biases, so it might not always help at getting your foot again. So it depends. Here's how I look at it, Sage. I think internal bias that is kind of like under the covers, subconscious, undiscoverable, like the person doesn't know about it. I think a lot of the accusations around that have very little substance or data to back that up. I think there are people that think everyone has this internal bias and we always have to be consciously aware of this. And you get a very, very vocal social activist that will push a very, very strong narrative around that, where I find that most people just they essentially build up their assumptions about how others perceive them in a very inaccurate way. I think people jump to that conclusion too quickly. And for the few companies that are, or the few hiring managers that are going to be that gatekeeper for you, that have that bias, good. Let it come out. Why the hell would you want to work for an employer like that? This idea that you have to sneak your way into a company, do you really think it's a good idea for you not to put yourself all out there and them hire you, and then literally the way they treat you is going to be affected and influenced by their bias the entire time you're employed there? No, fuck no. That's a horrible idea. So stop trying to sneak past these few minority of companies that do have that bias and then get a really shitty experience there and actually experience racism, actually experience discrimination. Get hired at a company that's going to appreciate you for who you are. So that's why it's garbage advice when people say that. It's you can't hide. You have to put yourself forward and attract the companies that actually want you to work there. The companies that fit my personality are a bit a long shot, like Netflix, Twitch, Reddit. It could be a long-term solution. Could be more personalized, but they have solid experience, so they have that going for them. Yeah, Jackie. Yeah, Jackie does. Concept of values and bias thing took me a while to figure this out and get across for years. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people were kind of, at this point, I don't know. A lot of people have very strong opinions on both sides when we talk about like discrimination and stuff like that. I feel like the conversation just needs to get out there. And I feel like there are really toxic narratives that I found on both sides. It's just best to squash them. You really want to work for a company that wants you to work for them. Oh, so the submissions are cut off. Man, I got distracted. Good conversation, but let's go ahead and go to the resume reviews. That's the difficult part, starting out, finding the place that fits you, yeah. It is. I mean, it just is. It's tough. You have to be patient. So I say, don't quit your job. Do this on the side if you can. Just make sure your financial situation is in very good standing, you know? Let's go. Okay, so... Man, I don't know. We're looking at phone numbers and stuff like this. I'm gonna trust that everyone... Yeah, they already agreed to it. They hit all the information they wanted to hide, so... Where is it? Let's choose the first file. It does, hon. Yep. They did accept. I know they did. I just think some people don't think through it. Sometimes they're not used to the internet. Like, you know, being in front of. I don't know how many viewers we have. It's not like I'm a big content creator or anything like that. Okay, cool. Have the first one. Sorry, this is taking me a little bit longer. Let me go... Let's start with Garrett's. All right. Garrett Waters. So all of these people are aiming for their first developer position. It's going to be aiming for front end. So let's do it. Nah, I ain't covering anything. They agreed to it. All right. Front end developer helping businesses install and test user interface elements of websites, bringing strong problem solving, customer satisfaction, and leadership skills. Okay. Steam price checker built a web app using blah blah blah, display game price based on user input and critically user interface, game priced on user input based on them typing in a game. So you built search functionality, right? Deployed CRUD functionality, allowed for retrieval of game data for display, leverage Firebase for authentication, hosting while modifying API data using TypeScript. Okay. Spell out the link with this, just like you did with these. This stuff can be printed out. NASA API tracker designed a web application using React to display NASA API info, leverage built-in functions using... You're building basic like CRUD applications, so, you know, kind of low value projects, but it's good to reinforce what you're learning. Experience. Sandwich artist provided excellent customer service, listen to customers to accurately complete orders and complete transactions using the POS system, maintain a clean and organized workstation, following all safety procedures, pack and unpack. Why is this relevant to being a developer? It's not. I don't, at Subway, a sandwich artist, is that the role? This just feels irrelevant. So you have, you're essentially, you can show a work history, which is really good. You work at Subway, part-time, full-time, I don't know. But that's good. You want to show a work history. I don't think you need 4 bullet points for this to describe what a sandwich artist does. You can expand with more projects. Like your projects are pretty low value, basic CRUD projects. There's no quantitative data of, like, you don't really, it doesn't sound like you have a user base. You're not selling that. You haven't said, like, gained 100 users that have used my Steam price checker over the past month or something like that, right? That kind of quantitative data that shows that you've built an app that people actually want to use and find value in. That's powerful stuff to put in here. But you don't speak to any of that. It's kind of just basic CRUD applications. So it's low value projects. And you only have 2. Not very strong. Education, wow. Okay. You are a new developer. This does not need to extend past 1 page. You could probably bump some of this up just from trimming this. Yeah, we'll pause there. Any generic questions? Save them for Friday. We do a live Q&A every Friday. Maybe trying to highlight soft skills. Yeah, but I don't. This you don't need 4 bullet points to do that. You know what I mean? Most of this is useless. You can have 1 bullet point. It's just like project work. Again, that solves real problems, gain a user base, build. You could, if you want to go the freelance route, you want to build websites for different businesses, that's fine. But like, there's so much more value as a new developer without professional experience to be had by showcasing your projects. I don't think filling your resume with this crap is relevant. It's just not. Education. So computer science. Oh, associates in computer science. Okay. So you're currently there. So you can apply for potentially internships. Full stack software engineer, coding temp. So it's under education. I'd say like engineering program. That's kind of like, hold on, deploy RESTful APIs. You're like selling yourself as a kind of a professional developer at Coding Temple. At least you put it under education, but I don't know. I think you're misrepresenting yourself. You're basically trying to sell yourself as a professional developer when you were just at a boot camp. I think this is going to look bad. I think you're misrepresenting yourself here. I don't know. It's like on the fence because it's under education, but like, is it really? Is this actually part of education or not? But you were a student. You don't have to put student, but you can say full stack software engineering program. And what, like, you don't need this many bullet points for this. Just 1. It's a coding boot camp. You can mention the stack that you worked on. That's all you need. You're overselling this. This is not where your value is. You are underutilizing and underselling your project section. This is what you should be highlighting. At the very least, like, have a live link to it. They could go to your portfolio to then look at it, but like, I would have a live link to it. You don't necessarily have to spell out the link, but I think having no link at all is hurting you. Yeah, you're just focused on the wrong things here. That's it. You should definitely expand the project section. Space is premium, 100%. Yeah, it doesn't need to be 2 pages at all. Mac, basically what I said, building projects that solve real problems, gaining user base behind, projects that kind of feel like a product, feel like a SaaS product, feel like whatever product you're trying to build, but feel like even if you're trying to do agency work, like you can highlight if you've worked with local businesses, if you've even built it for like volunteer centers are really good to build landing pages for. They don't usually have a high budget. You can look for like low budget businesses and offer to do it for like very cheap. But I mean, you can do that, but a lot of it is like most positions that you're going to get, they're going to be product based. So I think building an app that actually makes sense to exist, there's a lot of relatability and there's a lot to learn that's going to be directly transferable to working on a product as a developer, but focusing on a product that people actually use, which is why I tell people, like, try to gain a user base. You can start a blog with it, create a little content around it if you want, but that's such a powerful product, a project. And you know, like these, I think you underestimate how many people will just like build very, very simple CRUD projects like this. Like you have hundreds of other people competing with you for the same position, sometimes building stuff like this. That's why these are low value projects. Programming languages, okay, tools, frameworks, that's fine. And you could even condense this. I don't know, before you even condense this into something horizontal, I think like reducing a lot of this fluff, because you're obviously overrepresenting yourself here, and trimming some of this will give you more space for the project work, continue project work. I would say like it's a pretty good start, and you're just going to continue to push forward with more complex projects. Probably can remove sandwich. Yeah, I don't know if that's the actual title of it. When the resume is over one page, ditch the sandwich artist, worst case, say customer service representative. I think it's okay to put your title at Subway. I think that's completely fine to put your role there. I think it also adds, like, if artist is not the actual name for the role, I think it adds a little bit of flavor and exposes kind of a quirky personality of Garrett. I think people focus too much. Here's the problem. I think people focus too much on like trying to be creative on, because you hear this advice on making your skills of your old industry like clearly resemble tech work and stuff like. I think sometimes people try too hard to do that. And it kind of just like, it just comes off as like generic and irrelevant. I actually like that this person put sandwich artist. I just think they're talking about it too much. I think it's okay to put this. And I think this speaks volumes to how long you've been doing it to pay the bills. Like, this is freaking awesome. And you're showing a work history for a very long time. You showed that you have loyalty for a company. That's huge. I don't think this actually hurts this person. Just trim this. Real work equals real money. What's that in context of? GitHub is important. Source, like any source control. You use GitLabs, Gitbucket, whatever. But yeah, you want source control for all of your projects. That's a real job title. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Cool. Thank you, Garrett. Hope that helps. Ooh, you get to see all the bugs of my app. You find more each time I live stream it. All right. Ryan Spencer. I was just thinking regarding keywords like myself, not many people know that is the real job title. You could try a resume. If you're trying to aim for keywords and automated scanners like that, you can try to aim for that. Yeah, I don't think customer service in replacement of that is that important. I don't know. I just don't feel like it is. You're gonna get some larger companies that will try to automate it through different systems that'll scan through resumes, but I don't think they're. I don't know. You could probably fill that out in a bullet point with customer service skills. Still FX, welcome. All right, before we get started, check some. Man, we got a lot of resumes. How long do I want to stream tonight? I don't know. We shall see. Okay. Spelling out the links, that's good. And you create links for them to be able to use, good. Technologies, projects, wow, okay. So you're a brand new developer. About me, recent Epicodus graduate specializing in JavaScript, React, C#. Looking to combine my background in business management with my education in software development. Awesome. Talk about your previous industry and how that's blending in. But how are you doing that? I'm a communicative, detail-oriented team player who presents technical information effectively. That's good. That's good. And business background can definitely help. Because, you know, sometimes developers, they have trouble with talking about technical concepts with non-technical people. That's a really good skill to have, with a passion for education and personal growth. Okay. Education, certificate in web development, mobile development. React, frequently worked with version control tools, completed over 75 front end. I think your projects should speak to this. I'm not sure if 3 bullet points is worth that. Business administration, entrepreneurship, completed multiple computer science classes, and okay, that's relevant. Work experience, project manager, relevant. Manage over 40 new website marketing yeah, that's relevant. Extensively with Asana project management software, assign new tasks to content, SEO, and development teams to ensure new projects met project deadlines, maintain frequent and consistent communication with clients and relevant internal teams. Cool. So you don't really have any quantitative data to represent that you have made a significant impact in the company. That would be more beneficial. Talking about, I don't know, with a project manager, I don't know, like at things as a project manager, you kind of have your, I don't know, sometimes a CTO decides, sometimes a project manager, but maybe even talking about any significant efficiency gains with the development pipeline that you have implemented from your side, right? And so whether that improves, like you've changed the structure and the way you communicate to developers, the way you set goals or have developers set goals, like anything that can show that you provided efficiency to the company, or even like your tech team can be very helpful. If you have anything to represent in that sense, that could be very relevant. But other than that, it's pretty good. Full stack developer intern responsible for the development of new platform features, primarily utilizing React Native. That's good. Including financial literacy lessons and a salary calculator. Work closely with senior engineers and UX team to meet deadlines. Write clean, consistent code. This is probably more relevant. I would argue project management probably doesn't need to take up this much. Digital marketing specialist, presented over 100 SMB clients through Google Ads and Microsoft Ads Management. Regularly worked with account managers to optimize client accounts, increase revenue, lead regular intake calls with clients. This is probably relevant for agency work potentially. I mean, like you can mention this. I think you should. But this feels less relevant for product work, to make more space for stuff to your projects on the side. React Tailwind, chess stats, dashboards. So, okay. So it's GitHub. Do you have any live? Is this a live link? You have a link to this repository in this repository. Why? Description. Okay. Why is this not live? I would make your projects live. That's fine if you want to link to the README. I would argue so this is why I think like both the live links and GitHub links are useful, but again, you have oh, you don't even have a portfolio, so you have no live links. GitHub, Aaron Spencer, LinkedIn. Is this your portfolio or? Okay. Get these projects live if they're not live already. competitive chess, long distance running, scuba diving. That's fine. You could stuff your hobbies as long as you don't take up too much space. I would argue a JavaScript team week. So these are coding bootcamp projects, mobile application design to help user implement a Pomodoro, web application design to visualize a user's chess stats. These are like really simple CRUD apps. I would argue the complexity of what you've worked on in your personal projects it's not very competitive. I would argue this full stack developer intern experience is probably something you should, this is probably going to be your strongest thing. I think this is second strongest. And then probably, I'd say this, your projects, and then a project manager. That's the order I would go in the value of the things that you're listing. Pause here. Just saying projects are experience over just courses. I don't think I have the context. Oh, projects are experience over just courses. Oh, gotcha. Real work equals real money. Thank you. I think if you're struggling to fit everything in one page, things that are less relevant to tech need to be shortened or cut entirely. 100% agree, Jasmine. 100% agree. Hey, Don, just started Dev Mountain, taking a quick dinner break and want to say hi. What's up, Carl? How you doing? Good luck with the program. Ryan, maybe leave the date of college graduation off. I mean, to avoid age discrimination or questions regarding career change. Leave the, wait, for college. Wait, say that again? Leave the date of college graduation, no. But this is horrible advice. What? No, I think the date for graduation is completely fine. Again, you don't want to work it's going to be a minority of companies. You don't want to work for a company that doesn't want you there because of your age. Stop trying to like sneak into companies that are obviously going to treat you like shit. I think like, I don't agree that you need to hide this stuff. I think it's horrible advice. I don't know why people give it. So with this, to me, what I see, and this is what a healthy employer is going to see, is kind of a long history of professional experience and like a very mature person. I would want this person at this company. You know, they can go through different personal references and validate a lot of this, but this to me seems like a very mature working professional. That's what this speaks to. I think you're focused on the wrong stuff. I do, when you give that kind of advice. Yeah, but I think like, you know, these are very simple projects. You don't really have professional experience and you have very simple projects. Like this is, yeah, kind of, but it was an internship position. Like, what have you done? What have you been working on since then? Get these projects alive. Like, I think it's a pretty well laid out resume. I still think without professional developer experience, having this like week of projects, you know, you're not going to be as competitive, but yeah, it just means more project work. Continue diving deeper into development. Like, keep this up is what I'm saying. You too, Carl. Definitely work for a place that wants you for who you are, 100%. The problem is, the reason I think it's garbage advice when you start talking about like trying to avoid discrimination, it just like, I've talked to thousands of developers at this point, and it's like, it's just as, it's like this virus in people where they've had bad experiences and they constantly project those bad experiences onto how they perceive other people perceive them. And it taints their perspective. It's horrible to be discriminated against. It's absolutely horrible. And like to have that taint your perspective and then apply it to like all of your new situations that you're going to experience in life. It's just this virus that keeps building in your head. And that's how pessimism and like, pessimism, what was the other word I was going to use? That's how just being like skeptical and not trusting people, like it develops so many bad habits and personality traits in you when you're like, if you let that kind of like dig into you. there are going to be so many good experiences in life where people aren't going to treat you like that. And if you constantly go through life trying to avoid that, I just found people are building up too many bad habits, and they have depression and anxiety, and they get on pills. And it's just like, it's just a weird spiral I see. I'm obviously discrimination is horrible, but like, you got to be careful of this mindset that you build and trying to be so avoidant of that. You're going to experience discrimination at some point, and you have to be able to deal with that in a healthy way. And I think trying to sneak your way into a company that might discriminate against you, like, it's just, people aren't focused on the right things to be able to project you as like this optimistic, happy person that, you know, has joy and love in their heart and wants to work with other people. They trust other people, right? You're just painting, it doesn't help you. And you're also, well, and the main thing is, like, when I talk to developers that like focus on this stuff, it's like, then when we look at the portfolio, resume, everything, like a lot of it, like a lot of the reason they weren't getting interviews, it's because their portfolio is trash. The resume's trash. And like, even the way they interact with people, because they develop this like tainted perspective, it's like developers aren't going to want to work with you just because you're pessimistic, because you don't trust anyone. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to be careful of that mindset that you build up. It's not a healthy mindset. You want to work for employers. You want to give yourself, you want to provide a transparent window into who you are, and you want to give an employers that want to work with you a chance to get to know you, instead of like pulling away and being a piece of paper. You know what I mean? That has like no uniqueness to it whatsoever. Took 5 years for him to get a business degree. I don't have a degree, and I think this guy is stud, but the interviewer is going to be judgy and ask questions. Okay, so we're not talking about age anymore. We're talking about like the amount of time it took. It took me 7 years to get a psychology degree. I'll gladly say that. It took me 7 years to get a psychology degree. So I think like this is a bit, what's bad about like having 5 years? It's actually a good thing. I don't. Are you talking about? Are you okay? So like the space, what were you doing? I mean, this person will talk about it. Like, you should have that story ready. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. And so what if they ask questions? What were you doing? Chances are this person probably just put like relevant work experience that was recent. I think that's very natural to put. I think the expectation is they're probably doing something. If they really want to ask, they can ask. I mean, if this person has been sitting on their butt for, you know, this long, I like that, and they overcame that and became a digital marketing specialist and full stack developer intern and like, don't you think that's a really impressive story? That's the thing. It's like, people don't practice their story of like what they overcame. It's okay to talk about the adversity that you faced and like a rough time in your life, but like, this resume screams that they overcame that if there's actually a gap. I don't think it's going to be assumed that they do have a gap, given that they have relevant positions, and there's only so much space on a resume. Build School, what's up? Welcome. So I don't agree. I think it's fine putting those dates. Yeah, 100% agree, Cheddar. Yeah, I mean, like 4 to 6 years for like, what do you expect? Like 5 years is pretty average. Why work for a place that doesn't want you? Exactly, Mahan, exactly. Don, sounds like more like Lemire is referring to the gap. Yeah, okay. So maybe I just went off on a rant, but basically, like, didn't Lemire talk about age? I mean, leave all to avoid. Yeah, he did mention age discrimination, so it sounds like he's changing it into something else now. But yeah, you can have a story for this stuff. You don't have to be scared of it. I think that's a huge mistake, and people like want to be super avoidant of it. Like, it's okay to show that you, like, even if you went 2 years where you're just like, I don't know, you know, you were bouncing from home to home, etc. You were struggling to find a job. You're struggling to build up the habits, but like, where you are now is what's relevant, and the story of how you got there and overcame that is a story that you want to tell. That's a powerful story. Like, people that don't deal with adversity and don't deal with life issues and have had everything handed to them, they haven't really been tested. And as a developer, you are going to be very tested with your ability to deal with stress, with your ability to communicate effectively and not let your emotions control you, and that, like, you're going to have very interesting conversations with very passionate people, and sometimes personalities will and like, how do you deal with all that, right? So I think talking about, it's just how you word your story, but be like referencing stuff in the past, even if you had bad habits in the past or like a gap in work history, like that's adversity that you overcame at some point. And that story is powerful. That story is what makes you who you are. And it shows that you've been able to build up good habits and you've faced kind of like trouble in your life. Like, that kind of stuff is good. I don't think you should avoid it. And I think you just have to practice wording that story and responding in the mirror or something like that. I think it's impressive, but recruiters can, again, go back to like, why would you want to work for a company, or even work for, or like connect with a recruiter that's going to see you like that? It's a waste of your time. It's just going to be a stressful experience. I think you're missing the point with that. I get what you're saying. And recruiters can be that way. I've never worked with recruiters like that. I've never worked or even applied at companies that would ever treat me like that. I would never do that. Or if I get any hint of that, like, you know, for example, it was really hard for me to become a manager at like 20, I think it was like 25 or something like that. Like, it was hard for me to gain respect of employees. Like, I've faced age discrimination there, and it was, but like, I had the backing, I had the support of my boss and the company to be able to do that. I would have never worked at a company that would have just looked at me as like too immature to be able to handle the position. So it's like, there's so many companies out there. You have to find the company that's going to treat you how you deserve to be treated. And if you have to wiggle your way to like try to sneak past, and you think, oh, I just need to get the job and don't get caught, it's like, eventually you're gonna have to show your face in that interview. Eventually you're gonna have to showcase who you are as a person, because they're gonna want to get to know you. It's just a bad strategy. And if you find that you're implementing that strategy at a company because you detect that they are gonna judge you in that way, maybe you're applying to the wrong company. Yeah, Jasmine, I agree. What's up, Anthony? It's got recent relevant creds. There's no reason to question it. I think this person's going to be fine. Are you saying the cap is going to be big issue? What cap? What's up? Shout out to all stay-at-home moms. What's up, Mesmer? From dig market to dev intern to project manager, and just, yeah, it's actually really impressive. So resume is actually pretty impressive. I just think it's weaker on the development side, and that's what you need to speak more to. But it just means, you know, more project work. Okay, cool. Who else? Man, this is gonna be a long ass stream. I kind of want to keep going and knock these out. We have 8 resumes. No, I would rewind it. I was saying the opposite word. It's not going to be a big deal. Just gotta sell it right. But yeah, just rewind it. We just went through the... I'm not going to repeat it. I would just rewind the video. All right. Well, I'm going to try to pronounce this name. Delay. Ifatrati. Delay Ifradia. Okay. So, React Developer experience. React Developer, BrainStation. You weren't a coding boot. Okay, you at least listed a coding boot camp. You weren't a React developer though. You're misrepresenting yourself there. Book built an electronic record keeping application to replace Red Book used for new babies and parents. Interesting. Okay. Very cool. Technologies used. Okay, fixed a mobile application that connects users that want to restore, repair, or refashion their furniture or clothes. Professionals. You have a portfolio? Okay, you have a I'd get a domain for your portfolio. I think it looks more professional. Okay, so these are essentially just bootcamp projects, trivia game website, researching technology. Like, what projects have you built on your own? These are going to be low value projects or perceived as that because, like, I mean, group projects can be good. I don't even know if you worked on them solo or with a group. But, you know, coming out of a coding bootcamp, these are just templated projects. So what have you built on your own? It doesn't look like anything. Maybe we'll scroll down and see it somewhere. Senior assistant, health advisors. This doesn't need 2 bullet points. It's not relevant to tech. I like that. Team efficiency by 50%. Created custom Excel sheets. I like this. This is taking up way too much space. Second line IT support. Worked as a team setting up the IT. This is kind of relevant. Rig also being part of the rig IT support rotation after a company emergency move, which the vendor mislabeled. This created a huge issue while the IT support team was troubleshooting. I suggest we document the correct access ports. This documentation reduced the company downtime. That's relevant. Like, this is the data that I'm talking about. That's kind of relevant. I would argue it's probably you gave that specific context, that situation. That's interesting. Probably going to be asked about it during the interview to expand on it. Yeah, I think that's pretty relevant. Self-taught online courses, TypeScript, so just skills. I mean, you could just make this horizontal. This is taking up way too much space. You got to talk about your personal projects. What have you built outside of it? This is August 2022. You're telling me you haven't built any projects since then? Like, why would I want to hire you? You're not a developer that, like, enjoys coding, from my eyes. What have you built? What have you done since then? It's been, you know, 6+ months, and I see no projects. You're not highlighting anything that represents, like, what you care about, what kind of problems you want to solve. No projects whatsoever. Am I missing it? Education, BrainStation, University Masters. You just look like you stopped coding for 6 months. There's nothing relevant here. So, like, you went through a coding bootcamp. Now I'm going to assume, like, you probably lost a lot of that knowledge. I think you're going to be a very weak candidate. I like how you spelled out the links here. Portfolio, again, domain would be very helpful. You have your source. Very passionate about using web development to make people's dreams and ideas a reality. I've always been interested in technology. Improving lives. The constant challenge of web development is a lot of generic statements. That's fine. It's kind of condensed off to the side, but like you could probably move this over just a little bit. Masters in Information Technology. Okay. Final project. Cool. You have links to it. Covenant University Bachelor's in Computer Engineering. Okay. But yeah, like I need to see recent work. Nothing about that. So I think this resume is going to, it's going to hurt you because I see no recent work. I shouldn't, like, I'm just going to assume because you shouldn't expect an employer, like if you actually have a recent work, you shouldn't expect an employer to go to your portfolio to look at that. But I'm going to assume you don't have any recent work. The skills are kind of escaping you by now because you haven't really reinforced it. You just look like a developer that it's going to take a long time to ramp up. You know, why would a company hire you? When there are plenty of other people that came from a coding bootcamp and they're just coding, they're grinding out, right? Why should they hire you when you have no recent work whatsoever? Yeah. Oh, you remember the template? That's their template. Okay. Interesting bootcamp name. BrainStation. Yeah, we've reviewed it. Not able to see any of the chats on the Discord or write anything, anything specific I'm supposed to do. Yep, read the instructions, Jordan. All those instructions have been outlined. But I only want to accept people that read those instructions and follow through with them. It's kind of like it's a litmus test for people that actually are gonna like read thoroughly and not just like join into the server and extract it. But I promise you, the action you need to take is there. I promise you it is. Could be more green, but it is more than me. Yeah, it might be. But yeah, that's the problem. That's the main problem is, you know, employers are going to be like, okay, so what have you built since then? That's the main problem with this. So you replace that. We talked about like stuff that can be trimmed. This could be horizontal. You can have more room for actual personal projects for a recent project that you've been working on. How do you show in a resume that you've been still grinding the code, the date of the... Yeah, you can put dates of projects. I think that can be healthy to put. You might probably want to avoid it if you haven't coded in a while, right? But you need to continue with project work. You have to. And if they want to see, like, you could put like recent or like you just put projects, right? You're essentially, again, misrepresenting yourself. You're not a React developer there. So that's probably going to be a low integrity move. I don't know if BrainStation has encouraged you to do that. Shame on them if they have. But at least you listed coding bootcamp, so it's not like an employer might look past that. But again, you're describing projects that you've worked on. You don't even need to list that they were at the bootcamp. That's not as relevant. I think what's more relevant is listing it like, is it a group project? Awesome. Right? And what was your role in that project? I think that's relevant, the stack in the project. But yeah, I want to see some recent work. I think that'll help a lot. All right, cool. Easy. Got through that one quickly. Too bad I'm unable to share my portfolio this time. I'm having to update everything as my code. Oh no, it was so bad. I'm sure we'll do more of these reviews. I've been doing a few LeetCode problems every day. Does this count? Would it be good to include it? No. This is for practice. You should build stuff. All right. Let's go to the next one. See? This person changed their phone number. Smart. Dylan Hess. All right. Full stack software engineer with over 1,100 hours of programming experience, having completed over 20 projects in both independent and agile settings, a supportive and enthusiastic team player dedicated to streamlining processes and efficiently resolving challenging project ideas on the front end and back end. Okay, so you went through a program or something like that. Programming experience. Okay. You're not lying and saying professional experience. Software engineer student at Parsity Remote. Okay, so a lot of hours were dumped into this. This is less relevant. This is education, right? Dump that below. Recent projects, Animaps. Okay, so you have a link, you have your GitHub. That's pretty good. Technologies, developed a full stack CRUD app for users to locate and report lost animals in their neighborhoods. Created a login feature. Awesome. Integrated with Google Maps. Again, if you can get a user base behind these projects, that's freaking awesome. You can talk about that. But created app for users to log into, profile for organizations, workspace to manage a to-do list through various boards, developing tasks. So agile board project. Name your projects. Like, I think when you can name your projects, so this is under recent projects, but if you can name them, I think it's, well, I don't know. Sec web app. Like, if you have a unique flavor of a to-do list, again, like, you want to focus on selling your projects as products that can potentially gain a user base. Again, you don't want to missell and misrepresent saying you are a software engineer at that company, right? You list it under projects. But naming the application that you built that could potentially gain that user base, and even considering, a lot of people undervalue the power of a landing page and representing your application with a landing page, which shows that you understand the users. You like, this is a thing that actually solves something, right? And you understand the users in which you are building this solution for. I think that's really powerful. And I think just building a landing page in general can help you consider user needs and business needs potentially. But you got to start thinking about, like, you know, in a professional developer environment, like, what kind of things do you need to answer for? What kind of things do you need to solve? And I think you can do that when you frame your perspective of your project and, like, how do I turn this into a real product? But yeah, those are relevant. It's just 2 projects though, right? So QA laboratory, but like, again, quantity shouldn't matter. If these are really complex projects, that's a really good thing. I would even argue more complex projects with a huge feature set. It's a real product. It's a real app. It's a real website, whatever, that can, you know, that has features that are relevant to users. Like, if it's a full product that you're building and it takes longer, that's fine. You just need a couple links. But this sounds like it's kind of like simple CRUD apps. Maybe I'm wrong with that. But if it's just simple CRUD apps, you keep up with the project work. QA laboratory technician. Created software to reduce data time. Okay, good. Increase average testing time of exterior raw materials by 20% while using the spray out method. What the fuck is that? Collaborated. It's bugging me. Put periods. Collaborated with all departments to ensure quality and regulatory compliance was in all processes, documents, procedures, and forms. Like, this is kind of irrelevant. This resume should really speak to you being a software engineer. It's fine you put your experience, you put relevant tech experience or leadership experience. You can put bullet points with that. That's going to be relevant, but this is filling up too much space. List more projects. Skills, general, agile methodology, pair programming, test-driven development. Okay. Education, kept it really simple. You have a lot of necessary, like, you spell out all the links. That's pretty good. Oh, none of your projects work anymore. That sucks. Is that Heroku? Chris, any general questions, stuff like that? Oh wait, no, it is I was gonna say we have a Q&A on Friday, but it's valuable using these tools to track bugs and issues identified in our projects, and call out that experience. Yeah, I think that's relevant. I think any Scrum work, any Agile experience, I think that's relevant to put on your resume, right? You can get Agile experience from essentially, like, you could, again, getting users that give you real feedback, and you take that feedback, you implement, you push those features out. Like, that's Agile work, right? And Scrum process of, like, planning out requirements and using a board to be able to do it, like, that's relevant stuff. You'll get a lot of coding boot camps that will have you do that. So yeah, I think it's worth listing those. Is it too late to share my old one? Feel free to roast it. No, yeah, I'm not taking any more submissions. This is already turning into, like, a super long stream. We'll go ahead and do more. There's still 4 more, but yeah. This is the 100 Devs resume template. Oh, is it? Oh, I gotcha. Okay. Yeah, my feedback still applies to it, but interesting. Good to know. I'll share my portfolio and resume the next time around. Can I post my GitHub profile for review now? No, we're not taking any more submissions right now. Yeah, we're doing this as like we hit a milestone. Got a bunch of members. All right, so I feel like I have to, like, periodically say this when I do these reviews. I'm sick of looking at GitHub and people saying your projects are perfect, and then you, like, no employers are calling you back. Like, I'm so sick of that. I'm sick of people just not being candid about the feedback. And so I'm very candid with this feedback. Please don't take it personally. And sometimes I like to make it a little entertaining. So all this feedback that I'm giving, I know it can sound a bit harsh, but it's important. I'm tired of all of you not getting the feedback you need and then getting frustrated because you're not getting calls back. I want you to get calls back. I want employers to notice you. I want you to do a lot of the right things that will actually make you competitive, because for some reason there's a lot of bad advice out there, and I think it's a lot of content creators that kind of just, like, go off of their own personal experience and they're like, yeah, that's gonna work for everyone else, and it doesn't. So let's go ahead and load this up. Okay. All right. All right. Yo, why is this 2 pages? You're like a brand new developer. This should be on 1 page. No, absolutely not. Yeah, that's true, Isaac. That is true. Networking is king. Okay, relevant information. Oh, I thought you put your address for a second. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Okay. Guys, this is the internet. All right, so entry-level full-stack developer, full-stack web developer, and generative code artist with vast experience in IT and cybersecurity. Technically sophisticated web developer with experience in modern programming languages and methodologies. Demonstrated success and a timely completion of development projects. Strong. Okay, demonstrated success and timely completion of development projects, strong background in cybersecurity frameworks, project management, service mobility, system business innovation, and systems upgrading. Track record of success in managing high, lead cross-functional teams, re-engineering processes, articulate communicator, skilled in building, strengthening relationships across functions to drive cohesive. Oh my God, Danilo, welcome. Oh my. That was such a bore to read. I need a second. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I'm not taking any more submissions, Joshua. What's up, Tanner? How you doing? What's up, Renee? Yeah, I feel like you can't use the advice from a few years ago from content creators. It's so much different now. It is. Yeah. Thank you, Cheddar. Donna's no chill, and I love it. I just like, I want to speak my mind. If I feel something, I just want to say it, because I think it'll be helpful. So essentially, like, you're taking up a lot of space. I think you're talking about a lot of good things, project management, track record. Maybe this is relevant. Like, I don't think you're bringing up irrelevant things. I just know we're gonna have to find space somewhere. Because come on. Like, this is 2 pages, and you're aiming for your first developer position. So maybe that's like my bias there. I'm like, we got to cut some. Areas of expertise: full stack web development, digital transportation, NFT creation and minting, cloud computing infrastructure. Like, okay, but just speak to it with your experience. Okay, it's relevant. Technical proficiencies, career experience. Full stack web developer and generative code artist owner. Designed several web-based responsive apps for child education. Developed HTML5 or HTML canvas-based static. And so owner. Like, is this relevant? Is this like a live project you've successfully completed? Key achievements. Oh, it was a bootcamp project. You're treating it like a real position. That's gonna feel very dishonest. It's not career experience, it's bootcamp experience. Don't oversell your bootcamp projects. Way too many people do that. It hurts them. It builds a huge distrust for coding bootcamp graduates. Like, you're just fucking yourself over here. That's just dishonest. If I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but like, that feels very dishonest. Created several successful NFT generative art projects. This seems like coding bootcamp experience, and you kind of sold it as professional experience. Bluestone Cybersecurity dramatically increased the security posture of all clients while reducing the operating cost. By how much, though? Can you mention that? Or simplified IT by transition. This isn't okay. Implemented machine learning automation. Okay, that's relevant. Enhanced visibility and security across the board. Increased awareness of external threats. Work closely. I bit my tongue, damn it. Work closely with executive management to develop risk assessments and mitigate. I don't think your cybersecurity needs to take up 5 lines. I think you've like skimmed past your project work, maybe? I don't know. Key achievement. This is taking up way too much space. Like, just go into the key achievements right away. Like what this was, a couple achievements that you think are relevant to a developer position, but damn. No, this shouldn't be dumped onto a second page. Senior IT manager. Okay, streamlined updated IT infrastructure by installing. Again, like you could highlight this in key achievements. Why do you have like this amount of text and then you have key achievements to literally shove this content further and further down until the employer decides like this is literally an entry-level position. Why the fuck did this person make me read 2 pages worth of their resume? Click out of it. Fuck that. Like, yeah, this experience, like you could just condense this. I feel like you know how to word things. I think if you stayed true to a lot of the quantitative data, like before, maybe you didn't have that specific data for like reducing operating costs. If you don't know by how much, that's okay. But you're just like doubling the amount of space. It's unnecessary. I like decrease total IT budget expenditure. That's not super relevant for you doing development work. Achieve 100% ransomware protection by implementing modern AI detection. That's probably slightly relevant. Ensured 100% uptime of valuable server and network assets. That's probably relevant for back-end positions. You could condense this quite a bit. I'm reviewing all the resumes. Is it me, or do some of the words seem double-spaced? Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yes. That's that can be fixed. Used what is it? Like justify, is that the positioning that does this weird spacing? I think it just looks weird. Yeah, that could be fixed. This seems like a European CV as the person originally from outside of the US. Doesn't look like it. I don't see a history of that. I don't know. The recent experience should have complementary portfolio projects associated. 100% agree. There's like no focus on that. This is not a developer resume. This is probably like an IT resume. Yep, spacing is awful on this one. Super harsh is when my senior developer from my bootcamp told me you have no business being a developer. Yeah, that's toxic feedback. My feedback is critical, but it's not toxic. Every single person that I review, their portfolio, their resume, all of this can be improved. And they are fully capable of becoming professional developers. But yeah, like just squashing someone's dream like that, that's fucked up. That's actually toxic. Okay, yeah. You're talking like this speaks more to IT and like I don't know, it's a very generic resume. A lot of this is you really have to question, is this relevant for a developer position? I would even like have other professional developers look at this and be like, what's actually relevant if you're having trouble with that? You're taking up way too much space to because you're pretty much doubling the amount of space that you need to take up. And I would even argue like are these 3 key achievements relevant to developer positions? Like ensuring 100% client satisfaction. Like, are you doing agency work that could be relevant? If you're doing product work, maybe you don't need to talk about the client work. If they don't have clients, like it's an internal product. So, it depends on the job that you're applying to. But again, yeah, this just feels dishonest if like you're talking about a coding bootcamp thing. talk about your personal projects. You need to highlight those. And yeah. And condense this to one page. And it's going to be more focused on a lot of your personal projects. Again, personal projects are okay. They are. It's just a lot of people build very low value personal projects. They build projects that don't matter. And it's okay to build those kind of projects to reinforce skills. But like, you gotta, I'm telling you, like when you can start getting the mindset of building a product, it's going to change how people perceive you as a developer. It's going to change what people see in you and your portfolio and your potential to be able to translate that into real business development work. Metric word salad. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Mahan. When I read some sentences, it seems the metric is very exaggerated too much when it comes off as disingenuous. Say $5 million. Did he say that? I don't know. Maybe it was a larger company. He mentioned IT manager. Was it? Did he mention that? It's a pretty big number. Page count is killer too, unless you literally, yes, 100% agree, Isaac. My resume as a professional developer, I've had a little less than 3 years of experience. It's just one page. There's no reason for my resume to be over one page. I've held 3 different developer positions. There's no reason for that to be over one page. Oh, yeah. I think he might have misunderstood you, who. Person went Full Stack Academy. I feel that should go near the top. No. Full Stack Academy, no. Like, it should be on a page. It should be under education. That's another thing I was going to talk about. Associates of Science in Network Security. He has a lot of education, for sure. Bachelor of Science in Business Management. This is taking up so much space. Full Stack Web Development Bootcamp. Software Engineering. I don't know. Like, you took a bootcamp and it's irrelevant. Like, if you went to a coding bootcamp, I think that's fine. Put that on your resume. You could put your associates. Chose follow through and completion of something that requires more than just a little motivation, right? It requires self-discipline to get through many years of education. That's good. I don't know if you need that much spacing with it, but Udemy, like, stop listing your Udemy courses. Like, this should, your project work specifically should speak volumes about like what you've learned. Lean on that. Like, if Full Stack Academy's Career Services approved this resume, that concerns me, because you should have access to Career Services. If they approved of this resume, I highly recommend that you get professional help elsewhere for your resume. Yeah. Cool. More project work. I think that's going to speak volumes to what you can do. Yep, education could be, on the same line. I agree. You guys have a lot of good feedback. I appreciate it. Those teaching resume writing now advises that resume should not exceed more than one length. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of become pretty universal in the development world. I don't know outside of that, but... what the fuck? Feel that should go... Yeah, chill. Yo, Lamar, chill with that. I know you're just joking, but yeah, chill. Is a good base to work with, at least. I agree. I felt like my bootcamp wasn't great, but the Career Services was really good. Well, that's good. A lot of coding boot camps, they'll kind of get you most of the way there. We have 3 more resumes, by the way. They'll get you most of the way there. Have to supplement afterwards. It's okay. Cool. Danielle Kala. Cool. 1 page. Let's go. 1 page. All right. JavaScript. Mongo. Skills right away. Fluent in Spanish and French. Cool. SQL. Okay, so remember, any skills that you put on, it's fair game to test you with. Just be aware of that. And if you don't know it and you list that skill, that looks bad for you. So I highly recommend that you have 2 skill sections. 1, stuff that you're pretty comfortable with, and 2, still kind of you're curious about, you're exploring. Projects, Waterbnb, full stack travel rental site made with Ruby on Rails, cool. Integrated 3 versions of Google Maps API through application to let users search for listings and see their locations. Built options to filter listing by criteria, such as maximum price, rating, proximity to a lake. Ooh, proximity. Interesting. So distance, wrote React.js script to dynamically calculate, show users the price of their reservation based on the dates. Okay, cool. Live site, GitHub. I would spell out the links above. So like you can have like these links here, but if people want to look further and they printed out this resume, I would have the GitHub link spelled and your live site spelled. LinkedIn's a little less relevant, but you could spell that out if you want. I think the color font may throw off the ATS. Why? Don, like, do senior devs not remember when they started off their career? I don't know why a lot of them are so harsh. A lot of old school developers, soft skills wasn't a big thing, right? They're still kind of in the industry because they have a lot of relevant knowledge. But I think it's just because like soft skills now is way more important than it was back then. That's probably what it is, and they just got away with it. But honestly, a lot of people just don't make good mentors. People have this assumption like I got to get knowledge from a senior developer, and like they don't have the people skills. They're telling you the wrong advice. Like they're clearly not in touch with like what the market wants, and like how to even explain this to a junior developer that doesn't have all this context you have. Like there are a lot of senior developers that are really bad mentors out there. Don't take advice from someone just because they're a senior developer. He should have done an order projects work education and just have a few bullet points. That could have been a better format. Yeah, there was no information on the projects. I got bit by this in my past life when I was a system admin. I ripped through the MCSE bootcamp and I was an AD expert and got roasted in an interview. Nice. It was a good learning lesson. Nice, Chris. Need the name in hot pink? I don't know about that. Might be a little harder to read. All right, so yeah, I mean, disease tracker, I love it. Choose your news project, served as a team lead for creation of backend. As a group, served as a team lead. Okay. So group project, cool. I like that you listed that it's a group project. Created heat maps with D3 library to visualize the prevalence. Cool. I modified log scale to clearly show increased prevalence at, okay. You are listing the technologies, news filtering service, disease tracker, choose your news, Waterbnb. I think that's interesting. I like that you named your apps. It shows kind of the perspective of like building a product. That's good. Rearranging components and resize text for smaller screen sizes using CSS media queries so users can use websites on iOS. Okay, you're talking about the specific tasks you did in your group. That's good. I wonder why you said NoSQL instead of Mongo. Like, did you use Mongo? You could type in like relational database, but I think it's completely fine to name the database. In fact, I probably would do that. New York City Department of Education, taught math classes, showcase, classroom teaching to super. This is, I don't know how this is relevant to being a developer. Consistently achieve ratings of effective or highly effective. That's relevant. How you performed at that job is relevant. But yeah, like this could be 2 bullet points. Design led English lessons for 2 groups. Coach 3 classes. Advanced math classes. That could be slightly relevant. Oh no, you're taking up a lot of space. I mean, like, just continue building projects. I think dates for projects can help. show recency, but I like if you're taking up the same amount of space with your experience as you are with the projects, you're doing it wrong. It doesn't speak as much to being a developer. I think showing a work history and showing achievements can be helpful. I'm starting to think like I'd start cutting out a lot of these bullet points. Like just a single bullet point of exactly what you did would be helpful. You could even include like an achievement in that same bullet, like comma, and then this is the achievement. Develop 5 elective courses. Directed orientation for 25 new staff members, twice mentored. I like this. I'm telling you, you gotta get some space back for your more project work. That's what I would focus on. Education, cool. You kept this pretty. Oh wow, look at that. You have so much space down here. You have a lot of space to work with. You could definitely reduce the margins for sure. But okay. I mean, it's like it's a really good starter template. I would have to kind of examine like how complex these projects are. Are they actually used? I'd play around with them, but yeah, you might even consider building, like if you're able to build this stuff, you might consider building a real project people will use. That could be a really great talking point in the interview. But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good starter template. Reduce this, increase this, continue your project work, and consider building a project that people will use. What do you guys think? My dude taught AP Calc. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what you've heard from recruiters, career coaches, and boot camps. Interesting. I didn't know that. I don't know if that's a thing or not. Okay, so the color might throw off some systems. I don't know. Oh, it looks similar to the Harvard template. This is pretty much my template. That's what I used when I got my first developer position. I didn't get it from Harvard. Really, we just had a really good instructor. We had a horrible career services person initially, and he basically told us she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, which is kind of funny to hear that from the head instructor. But his advice was actually good. And the template we ended up with looked very similar to this. Experience should still be there, but really showcases his soft skills in like a third of the page. Yeah, I agree. Experience should be there. I think it should be reduced. But yeah. I don't know if man or woman, I have no idea. Daniel Collins. Sometimes it's hard to, even like with names, even to try to assume it's like, I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, I think this is good experience to illustrate really good soft skills, good patience being a teacher. You're gonna have to have good patience being a developer. Yeah. Ivy League. Went to Columbia Ivy League. It's pretty good. I think this is a pretty strong resume. I've been working on my first software developer job for a year. It depends. It depends on your work, Benicio. I think it should focus more on your professional experience for sure, but if you're working on a recent project, I think that's a great thing to list on your resume. I think it'll only help. But a year of experience at your first position isn't a lot of experience, and you're really gonna have to like milk that for everything that you can to like fill your resume up with that. So it's gonna be a pretty empty resume, and you're gonna be talking about a lot of things that don't matter, probably. But like that should be your priority on your resume for sure. You should try to connect with alumni. Yeah, I think that's good advice. Okay, cool. Next one, we have 2 more. Do you guys find this helpful? The resume reviews? Because I don't think I've ever done resume reviews before, or it's been like years. Usually do portfolio reviews. Yeah, this is great. Yes. Okay. All right, cool. This is so helpful. Thank you, Dan. Awesome. Okay. I'll I think I want to keep this one. I don't think I'm going to make it members only. I don't have plans to, so I can keep this live for people to reference. But yeah. I don't know. I may or may not, but I don't really have the intention to do that. Okay. William Kevin Ramos, developer, phone number, spell out these links, portfolio, GitHub. Okay, so this is printed, HTML, CSS, SCSS, React, okay. And again, expect to get tested on all this. Next.js, Shopify, okay. Node.js, okay. TypeScript, okay. Redux, React, okay. Expect to be tested everything that you list. I highly recommend proficient and curious about or exploring or something like that. 2 lists will represent what you're confident with and what you're kind of still newish with. Experience projects, weight plate, view project, cool. Live link, utilize e-commerce. And so you can have like links like this with condensed text as long as you spell out your portfolio and it links to these projects. Utilize e-commerce development essential. I would even have a GitHub link, view project and GitHub link. Anyways, utilize e-commerce development essentials in order to create a functional mock-up of a restaurant idea of mine. Is geared towards people that are into fitness. Don't say like restaurant idea of mine. Just say like, in order to create a functional mock-up of a unique restaurant that is more geared towards people that are into fitness. It's say e-commerce dev. I don't fuck around. All right. Worked with multiple APIs as well. So you have the technologies, built GraphQL endpoints with Shopify, and use dynamic routing for Next.js in order to create multiple internal API routes that could be used to fetch, update. Okay. Super team. Engineer the entire web app while executing. Like, this is just garbage. Engineer the entire web app while executing the best TypeScript practices with it. So you used like, it's kind of the expectation that you did your best not to produce bugs. Like, what? It's just fluff that's irrelevant and it's wasting space. Formulated the logic for all JavaScript functions responsible for making multiple API calls and feeding the responses back to the users whilst handling all. You're saying a lot to just. You wrote JavaScript functions and made API calls. Like, why is this filling 2 lines? Integrated, randomize, and build team React components with a modern UI display for an interactive user experience that aligns with good UX design utilizing TypeScript. Okay. I mean, utilizing React and Type. Don't you have that here? I feel like you're just taking too long to get to the point. Implementing multiple external APIs and React functions. Okay. Again, same feedback there. Redesign, a lot of the same thing. Yeah. Oh, wow. You really stuffed it down there. Okay. Well, you can trim some of that out and lift that education just a little bit. Dad joke tier list. That's kind of interesting. Where to watch, view project. Develop a website from start to finish to show. Well, you don't have to say like develop website from start to finish. To showcase fundamental understanding of with the usage of outside framework. I think you can, like, this is what a blog is really good for. This is what writing LinkedIn articles is really good for. I think you got to start treating a lot of these projects. I mean, like, if it's just to reinforce methods, I'm glad you're honest about that, or reinforce your learning. That's good. And you wanted to avoid using, so you want to focus on vanilla stuff, but it's, you're talking about the functionality. It's like, again, this doesn't really have the mindset of like treating what you're building like a product. You know what I mean? There's nothing about like what it's solving. You're immediately jumping into the implementation. I would, if you're just watching this section, I would literally go through this entire live stream and start at the resume section because we've talked about this to death. I think you're focused too much on the implementation and not enough. Like, I would be very interested for you to tell me a project right now that you built that people used, or you like considered trying to get building something that someone would actually use. And like, what was that process like for you? What was that process of coming up with features like for you? What were some of the compromises that you had to make in order to deliver some of those features? Like just the cost benefits that you had to weigh in your implementation like that. When you come at it from a user-centered developer and then move into the implementation, if you do want to talk about that, I think that shows more of a maturity in terms of like a professional mindset to have as a developer if you're going to be applying to product-based positions. Now, you did do Shopify, so maybe you're going for agency work. I don't know. It's a little hard to tell. Chris, probably a good question for Friday. We're going to do a live Q&A on Friday. Are wasting so much space on projects should just be a link to... No, I disagree. Wait, wasting so much space on projects? No. Projects are king. I just like... What project should I care about? That's the problem. You're just talking about like... You're just over articulating your implementation details. And you're kind of repeating a lot of the same thing in each project. I think it's great to list these projects, but like, what project am I supposed to be impressed with? I'm not going to really examine that, or even the depth of it, or that it's like a real project that people would use that solves a real problem by just getting a bunch of implementation details. So I think a lot of the bullet points could be reduced for what it's talking about. But I think your next project really needs to speak to what I've been talking about in terms of like the perspective to have with a user-centered developer. Online boot camps, modern React with Redux, mastering TypeScript, complete web development. What's relevant? Like if you didn't even go to a coding boot camp, I think like these look like Udemy titles. Mastering like they just look like courses or Udemy titles. You can list it, like if you you can highlight that you were a self-taught developer and you've just pieced together a bunch of Udemy courses, and like now you can produce all these projects. You can highlight even that you're a self-taught developer. That's very impressive. But if it's not an actual coding boot camp, I don't know, this doesn't really tell me much. But not on a resume. Should just link to... No, your projects should be on a resume. No, this is good. This is what we've been talking about the entire time. You should be focused on your projects on your resume. If you have no professional developer experience, like you're heavily going to focus on that. Wrote code to make the central processing unit execute instructions to complete tasks and fish. Like that, yeah, Chatter, wait, did he actually say that? Or did you just make that up? If you just made that up, that was actually very impressive. But that represents exactly what I'm talking about. Being a self-taught developer is such a cool thing. I sometimes wish I didn't go to a coding boot camp. Most people fail at that, so maybe it's good that you didn't. Like statistically, it's good that you didn't. You know what I mean? Is there like experience? Do you have work experience at all? Like it helps to show a healthy history of work experience. I don't think that should be excluded on here. If you do, I would talk about that. If you're just sitting around, you know, in your mom's basement, coding forever, trying to get your first job, I like, how do I know you have a work ethic? How do I know you have any follow through, consistency? I see no dates whatsoever. First of all, yeah, good job. You listen to me, or you read the form. I don't know why people are listening to their phone number. Yeah. I would show a work history that's relevant or recent. Do you have any, did you volunteer anywhere? That's another thing you could put where you volunteered. Volunteer work looks really good. But relevant technical or leadership experience is really good. That's where you can emphasize a couple, an extra bullet point for your previous job. But I think showing a recent work history is really healthy. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and cancel that. God, you're trolling. You're actually trolling. Okay. Okay. So I was just scrolling. One page, second page, third page. We've hit the ultimate resume. The longest resume we have ever reviewed for an entry-level position. 3 pages. All right, let's dive into it. Wow, that font. That is bold. You could probably reduce the size just a little bit. He has that grandma font. Yeah. Yeah, he does. I don't know why the font is so big. That's crazy. You could shrink your font just a little bit. This should be on one page, by the way. So about me, I'm a software engineer apprentice with a focus on full stack development. I want to be in a career where learning and personal growth is continuous. I wanted to be. You want to or you wanted? This seems like you gave up on that journey. From previous jobs, I have leveraged the skills of communicating well with others. So you've leveraged the skills of communicating well with others and being alert and quick with having a solution ready to satisfy a guest. What does that even mean? It probably speaks to your experience, your work experience with my team-oriented attitude and problem-solving mindset. I strongly believe I bring a lot of value to this. Is just fluff. Fuck, you can probably cut most of this out. So, software engineer apprentice, highlighting that with the focus. So you have not professional. You don't really have professional experience. Apprenticeship is a little bit different, but you have a unique type of experience with the focus on full stack development. That's fine. I wanted to be in a career where learning and personal growth is continuous. Okay, I don't think. Let's see the rest of your resume. I have a feeling like you're going to cut pretty much almost all of that out. Skills. There's no reason for skills to take up literally like almost half the resume. This can be on one line. You don't even have to separate front end, back end. Like, let the recruiters and tech teams do that for you. Just list your skills horizontally. Team-oriented, problem solver. Okay. It probably doesn't need to be here. Like, let your experience and what you've achieved in the past speak for that. Ultimate hangman, made with pure. So, GitHub, spell these links out. It looks like you don't even have a portfolio or anything like that. But you have live links. Roku app. Do you have a portfolio? If you do, put that up top. Experience, software engineering, immersive, general assembly, remote, successfully completed, expert-led, instructions, target team member, work guest service, dealt with many guests, and dealt with. That sounds like you've interacted with guests and you weren't, I don't know, super happy about it. Dealt with. Like, you deal with people in customer service. Like, I get it. You deal with people in customer service, but like, you don't say that on a resume. You know what I mean? I think this is just kind of irrelevant. Doesn't really speak to being a developer at all. Acting manager when needed and assistant team members. Sure. Leadership experience is good. Education, general assembly. You already listed that. Okay, so you're kind of just showing like a work history. Why? So you list the dates here, but you don't list the dates here. That's kind of odd. Why is that? Was it for like a month or something like that? If it's not a month, I probably wouldn't list it. You know what I mean? I would even argue, like, if it's a short duration of employment, it's probably just going to look bad. I wouldn't even put it on your resume. You're going to get that question. what have you been doing? But you could again focus the conversation on what you've been doing here. But really, like, where's project work? Hold on, I'm losing my voice at this point. Oh man. Ooh, been live for only 2 hours and 2 hours and 44 minutes. Kind of a lot. I've just been talking the whole time. All right. First project, like, made with pure vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Made with pure. So, a music app, I would argue the music app probably is, like, what is this music app? Talk about it, right? You're diving into first project using Node.js. It just looks like you're just a brand new developer just getting started. It looks like you have like no experience growing as a developer. Like you're just, that's great. Everyone starts somewhere. You look like a brand new developer with this resume. So if you are, this represents you. If you aren't, it doesn't. But I have a feeling like you're barely talking about your projects. You know, do you really have to describe what Hangman is? Well, like, what is Ultimate Hangman? What unique flavor did you put on Hangman? Excuse me. Learned about RESTful API. So these, like, you're definitely not selling this as a product. You're selling this as a project that you just wanted to reinforce some concepts as you were learning. It's like you just seem like a brand new developer. So I think maybe you're just starting out. You probably just need to build more projects, get more experience building projects, and that's fine. And you'll continue to build this section up. But again, a lot of the advice that I gave before, it's going to apply to this. It's like event is, so you're just starting out, so this advice might not apply to you right away. Well, you went through General Assembly though. Fuck. I forgot about that. February. So you're still in a coding boot camp. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so when you get out of General Assembly, you're going to build a project on your own. You're going to build a project on your own. You're going to reinforce everything that you just learned. I thought, was it General Assembly that was teaching multiple backend languages? I don't remember, but I would talk to career services about this. I think you're just selling this poorly. You don't even mention that, like, learn about RESTful API. Like, you can write a blog post that talks about like what you had to learn in order to build this project out. I think that belongs more in a blog and not in your resume. Resume is essentially, again, the ideal state is selling like the product that you built, and what it does, what's unique about it, what problem does it solve, and like, again, metrics like user signups and stuff like that, or even like monetary revenue gain if you sell the product. Like, that's huge. That's the ideal state. But with these projects, if it is kind of just a learning project, and sometimes your projects will be, don't list it like learned about RESTful API. It just, like, it makes you look extremely inexperienced. Talk about, treat it like a product. What does it solve? What the hell is this app? You could mention the stack that you used. That's fine. And then push the, yeah, kind of just learn some stuff. Push that to a blog. Was this resume made in Kindle? I have no idea. I have no idea. Yo, that's me, guys. LOL, don't hold back. I respect all. Oh, nice. I don't, wait, who here in chat had their portfolio or resume reviewed today? I'm curious how many people, we might have had some people leave, but I'm curious if who's actually here and saw their review. I respect all comments. I'm only 19. This is my rough draft. Nice. It's a good attitude to have. Need more projects and explain what problem solution the project had. Yeah, this is my filler for now. Of course, I'll be replacing it with real good projects when I'm done. Awesome. I did. Thanks for reviewing my portfolio. Gonna fix the styling mistakes. Oh, cool. Okay, so we do have other people here. Are vanilla HTML, CSS, JS projects okay to put? Yeah, they're fine if that's the best you have. Not everything needs React, right? You can have a very complex application. In fact, I probably, at some point, I want to build a game, and I'm probably not gonna use React with it. It's gonna be a lot of Probably use Three.js, and I'll probably look at some modern frameworks that utilize Three.js, and just compare how you organize it and just what people are saying about it. But like, not everything needs React, not everything needs a framework, not everything needs a library, but I would just put like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's what I would put. And that's going to be a very low value project. If you're applying to front end positions, it's going to be very low value. It's not a super impressive project, but if that's all you have, that's what you list. You just prioritize your project. So it's going to be top to bottom, your most impressive project, which I think is probably going to be Dottify, not Ultimate Hangman. Maybe I'm wrong with that. I don't know. But like, the project that you feel proudest of should be at the top, and least proudest of at the bottom. And then when you build more complex projects, you know, then you can toss some of those older projects out that don't, especially if they don't represent what you can do, not even close. But yeah, you just slowly replace those projects. React games are awful. I built a tower defense game in React. Yeah, tower defense game in React, and it was so laggy. It was horrible. I learned a lesson with that. But yeah. Cool. Oh, we've reached the end. Unfortunately, everyone, our time has come to an end. So, hopefully that was helpful. It's very detailed. I got through everyone. There was one that was like more of like a freelance website, but I don't know. I don't really want to go over freelance. Like, it was purely freelance, and I feel like there are probably better people to look at that than me. But yeah, hopefully this was helpful. I'll be live on Friday, 12:30 p.m. Central Time, most likely. And if you have questions, blockers, anything like that, bring them then. Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good night. Good luck on all of your projects, and happy coding.